up tonight after crashing into a homeless camp, leaving 4 people dead. A driver faced a judge today for the first time.
Yeah, the Salem Police Department also released the names of the victims. Fox 12's Connor McCarthy sat in on the arraignment and joins us now live in Salem with how some in the community are reacting. Connor.
Well, Pete and Bonnie, that suspect, 24-year-old Enrique Rodriguez, stood emotionless in court as the judge read him the charges that he was being arraigned under, and that judge also denied him bail. But today I talked to Matthew Macera, who is the executive director of Be Bold Street Ministries. Now, he says that he knows what the danger that the unhoused live in every day because he once was houseless. Now, he says this tragic incident will hopefully bring a positive change here in the Salem area to help the unhoused.
I was crying. It was going to be really difficult for me not to do that now.
Matthew Macera is the executive director of Be Bold Streets Ministries.
No matter what somebody's life currently consists of, they're no less of a neighbor.
When he heard about the crash, he made his way to the scene on a Front Street Northeast.
And I got here just as they were pulling our neighbors that didn't survive the initial impact from the wreckage.
He says he met one of the victims who died Sunday morning at an event for the unhoused in the Arches parking lot.
He was crying, and he looks at me and he says, you know, God does love me, and you guys love me. And I said, absolutely, that's why we're here.
Macera was unhoused for more than 2 decades, so he knows the constant feeling of danger the unhoused live in every day.
So what first started going through my mind was many things. The families impacted, the ripple effect, you know, ultimately life lost.
He heads an organization that does outreach to those experiencing houselessness. He says they're doing their best to try and get people in safe places to camp so they're not next to busy streets.
Our unsheltered neighbors being hit by motor vehicles is fairly common. I've seen it happen, and I've seen drivers attempt to drive away.
Salem Mayor Chuck Bennett sent a statement saying, quote, "On behalf of the city and myself, my condolences go out to the friends and family of those affected by this terrible tragedy. We continue to offer alternatives to unmanaged camping and encourage people to access those resources." Macera says the next time anyone drives by an encampment, he wants them to remember this.
Our unsheltered neighbors are no less of a neighbor than any other neighbor, whether it's a tent, whether it's like what I had, just a semi-waterproof jacket, or somebody's in a stick-built home. They're our neighbors.
Now, coming back out to you live here, I want to show you something. If you see those red tents on your screen, those were not here yesterday when I was covering the crash. Those have come about within the last 24 hours. And this shows you people will find any place to stay, no matter how dangerous it is. Pete and Bonnie.
Connor, as you mentioned, the suspect, 24-year-old Enrique Rodriguez, was arraigned today. What was the outcome there?
Well, as you heard at the top, the judge did deny him bail, but he was read a whole list of charges, including DUI, reckless driving, manslaughter, and assault. Now, prosecutors say that Rodriguez's BAC was .26. That's more than 3 times the legal limit. And they also say that he was driving more than 70 miles per hour at the time of the crash. Now, coming up tonight at 6, you'll see some tense moments in court today between family members of one of the victims and family members of Rodriguez, and also you'll hear from his mother for the first time. Pete and Bonnie.